Hey, what's up? My name is Chris DeCola.
Pharaoh.
Welcome to Signal Flow Studio. You're watching Breakfast with Beb.
Getting hot as fuck. Welcome to breakfast. Alright, so what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Not bad, not bad.
You know what I'm saying? Breakfast with Dabbing today, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on, man? Tell me a little bit about Signal Flow. When did you guys start engineering here? You know what I'm saying? It's a real nice setup y'all got.
Appreciate you. You were here before I was, Sean.
Hey, I started engineering here like 5 years ago. And,
Okay.
The studio's been open for 6, you know what I'm saying? I started working here out of high school, and then Jake Jekyll, the one who owns the whole studio, he started training me in engineering and shit, and getting...
And was that like the first time? That was your first time engineering?
That was the first time I ever like been into a studio or anything, you know what I'm saying? When I first came into here, I was like, damn, man, it's crazy how music's made. I didn't really realize how many layers went into it and shit, and like the whole recording process and the mixing process and like what it sounds like before it's mixed and after it's mixed and shit like that.
The technical side.
Yeah, like I never...
So were you using the boards like right off the back, or you know, was it just
right
digital?
Off the bat, I was just bringing in promotion and shit and promoting all the artists and bringing in more artists and shit like that for Jake, and then the studio started blowing up. He needed more help, and he started putting me on and shit. And then I met Chris through my rap group, who I also met through here and shit.
Okay.
And then he basically conjoined his studio with our studio. And
Yeah, I was doing some solo stuff, just doing my own studio type of thing, and my computer died, and I needed to relocate. Actually, I lived in LA for a little bit, and when I went to LA, my people who I would record with, my friends and all that, they met everyone here because they needed a new studio. So I came back from Los Angeles, and I was like, damn, you guys found a pretty gold group here. So once my computer died, Jake was like, you know, come on board, dude, start working here, and it was a fucking great decision.
So what you like around a decade in engineering or somewhere?
I've been like engineering like seriously for probably almost a decade, I'd say.
Okay.
I guess since I was 17, I actually started like doing this stuff, and I was in a band back then, so I would do a lot of the producing for the band and recording for the band and stuff.
Okay.
All the mixing. I'm 24 now, so I guess like 7 years then, something like that. But yeah, I've been here since 2016. 2016, I think. Either 2016 or 2017.
Okay, now speaking of the band, what's like the most interesting thing opposed like recording a band opposed to like recording a single artist?
I would say the most interesting thing about that is when you record a band, like the attention to detail that you have to put into getting the sounds right before they even get in the computer. Because, I mean, you can do a lot of work when you got a beat in somebody's vocal. I mean, we do primarily hip-hop here. You chop it, you know, you do all types of cool things to their vocals. But, like, even if you mix the drums perfectly, if you had that one mic that, you know, one cymbal was too loud in it or it wasn't capturing things correctly, you can't fix that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the most interesting thing, I think, is actually, like, just the amount of time and work that goes into it.
And the acoustics and stuff like that.
All that, yeah. There's a lot of science that goes behind it. I mean, mostly drums, though. I mean, other stuff is easy to, like, you know, overdub. Yeah, I double guitars and stuff. Then you do vocals. Bass is always easy. But recording drums, I think, is the most difficult process in recording music.
Okay. And I want to talk to you, too, about Iron Bison.
Iron Bison, baby. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out to Iron Bison, you know what I'm saying?
Shouts to Iron Bison.
He recorded a track here, you know what I'm saying, won Band of the Week. Streets Ching Ching recorded here, won Best Upcoming Artist.
Yes, sir.
So what do you feel, like, how does it feel to be a part of, like, the success of an artist?
It feels awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
It feels awesome to know that, to know that, like, the hard work that you put in got noticed by other people. Not only did the person you were working on get noticed, but people noticed that you were a part of it and shouted you out. But also, like, it feels really good when you work with an artist and they get themselves to a position of winning an award. You know what I'm saying? Like, Streets didn't win that because of us, and Iron Bison didn't get that Band of the Week spot because of us. They went out and they networked. You know,
they put in the work. Yep.
Yeah, it's cool when you have faith that you're working with somebody who's serious.
Yeah.
I love
that.
that.
Product comes out, you know what I'm saying, to where everybody's satisfied, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's all smiles.
Hell yeah.
All right, so when it comes down to mastering, Do you guys master the tracks yourself after you mix it, or do you like switch it up? Do you send it to somebody to master it, or how the hell do you guys do that?
We just got our boy Jake Pastor in house for mastering. And
Okay.
He's here doing his thing and stuff. So
Okay, that's cool.
he's dealing with all our mastering.
So before that, what was like the recipe?
I do like a pre-master on my stuff. If like the artist doesn't want their stuff mastered, you know what I'm saying? I'll get the most volume out of their mix, you know what I'm saying? With it still sounding good, but if they want it mastered, then I'll just hit up Pastor, like, I got these people.
Yeah, we can do like a mock kind of mastering job, because we got all the plugins and stuff, so we'll slap like a multi-band compressor on that to kind of tie it in a little bit, then we'll slap a limiter on it to boost that volume up. But when they need the serious shit, that's when we give it to Pastor.
And now, is that an extra cost for him, or is that's all included?
For him, yeah, it's extra for Pastor.
Okay. And what's that extra charge?
Shoot, he started at $30 a song. He just recently came aboard. I believe he started at $30 a song. We were talking about getting him up more per song. I think he should be doing $50 a song, honestly. Okay. And you get a whole project, and you can start talking about discounts, So for his stuff, he likes to give quotes on projects more so than like a flat rate.
Project isn't like an album, EP,
a whole album.
mixtape.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you got 20 songs on a project, like he's not gonna do $50 a song.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Okay.
What is that? Is that $1,000? $1,000. Wow.
Now I got a lot of producers. I got a lot of producers and engineers that watch the show, and I want to see if you guys could give me the basics. I know you was talking about compression, so the basics of compression and EQ, so that the beginners could grab a better understanding of what to do, when they're mixing and everything.
Certainly. I would say what comes to mind first with EQ is always remember that vocals and pretty much everything else, most tracks, most sounds, have this very low bass energy going on, and you gotta high pass pretty much everything. First step when you're doing EQ is getting rid of all that low, 20 to sometimes 80 hertz or whatever, unless you're using a bass, On the other end of it, that's like the bass part of it, rolling off that bass that makes things muddy and shit.
Right.
On the other end, I like to boost the highs. You gotta be careful with it, because sometimes you'll get too much sibilance in there, too aggressive. But I take like maybe 8K, 10K, and boost that a little bit for vocals. That just gives an air to it.
Sometimes I like to maybe roll off a couple hertz. You know what I'm saying? Like at the top, you saying just try to roll it off. You feel me?
Yeah, so you don't get
the highs. Yeah.
Right. But when you do add that real high, just a couple decibels, maybe not even a couple.
Right.
Like that just gives an air to it. That's like one of the most interesting things about using EQ. Different plugins for EQ help a lot too. We've been using this one here, the UAD. It's the Pultec replica or whatever, and that thing does some serious work. I love that EQ.
All right, now and I want to talk about what you guys actually record on, the software that you record on, as well as, do you think Pro Tools is overrated? That's kind of like the end question.
Good question.
I love Logic. I love the program, and I feel like if you know what you're doing on the program, you could get it done on any program. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
You could just, you know what I'm saying. But investing into extra fucking plugins and stuff like that, that's key to getting a good sound and stuff. And that's a unique sound.
That's kind of what my next point was, because people say, okay, well, I need a good mic or a nice preamp or plug-in. So I wanted to talk about, what do you believe makes the song quality, what it is? Do you think it's the mic, or do you think it's the engineer, or what is it?
I think it's whether or not it's a good song.
Okay.
I mean, you can give me a bad song and pay me $500 to mix it for an entire day, and I'm gonna do that because it's $500 and it's the whole day. I'm not gonna make it a good song.
Right.
I think a good song sounds awesome unless it was Bosch. I mean, honestly, I think you can record a good song on a cell phone.
Or as long as it's recorded good, like the initial recording is good.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think what it breaks down for me, my favorite projects, the ones that I think I did the best job on, made them sound as good as they could possibly sound. All of those were awesome songs. I just noticed that over the years. I don't think that's a coincidence, It's got to be a kick-ass song.
So what are some of the struggles that engineers go through that some people may not know about or think about?
Shit, when I first
Thanks for
started,
asking that. So, thanks for asking, hearing from us about that.
Hell yeah, like, I mean, this is my only job here, so I'm hustling and trying to get in the studio as much as possible whenever an artist hits me up, you know, I'm trying to find that slot for them and book them and shit. But I mean, like, when I first started, it was tough building that clientele and getting the serious artists together and the people who are going to be good business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, after you get that ball rolling, it's like the good business brings in more good business, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
And good
it all
business is
branches off.
important, but that consistency too, like, you
Yeah,
know,
that consistency.
it's good to
Somebody
try to
come
find some
in
artists.
And they could be a really good artist, and you know what I'm saying? Drop a song, and then you won't hear from them for like a month or two, you know what I'm saying? Type
Right.
of shit. And
Yeah.
those.
What about you?
One of the most difficult parts about it, I don't know. There are quite a few difficult parts. I think that I would say at least one of the most difficult parts about it is when people come in and they don't know, like, what exactly they want to do in the booth. Like,
Right.
when people don't show up, like, okay, get me live, get me rolling. This is my lyrics. I know how the song goes. I've been rehearsed. I guess, yeah, people
Right.
unrehearsed. You know, people who are unrehearsed, and there are people who are gifted at coming in and just doing it on the fly. Some people thrive in the studio, you know?
Right.
So it's not like an end all be all type of thing, but like when people aren't rehearsed and they're using their time and their money to like work on something that they could have gotten better before they came here, that's one of the most difficult parts for me, because it's like, all right, how much like coaching do I need to do through this process to help you get to a point that you're happy? Are you gonna come back later and do this again? It gets a little bit like,
Right.
not purposeless, but it's kind of like, all right, bro, come on, you know, you got to have this down like the back of your hand when you come in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how
feel
I
that.
approach it. But yeah, some people, like I said, they thrive in that environment. So
All right, and what about your biggest musical influence? Who has that been? Maybe it could be childhood, it could be adulthood.
dude, there's been a lot, you know, like just phases of just like this person influenced me the most, this group influenced me the most throughout all the time.
Or just who influenced you in the most important part of your life in music?
Man, I would say probably the New Radicals comes to mind. That's a tough one, but I would say New Radicals. New Radicals, they did that song. You know them? They
Nope.
did the song "Don't Give Up." You got the music in you. One dance left. It's like in a bunch of movies. You hear that song?
Yeah.
It's like it's in movies and shit. But they made one record. The guy's name is Greg Alexander. They made the
Okay.
one album. He was from Detroit. he went to Los Angeles at like 18 years old or something. Didn't know what he was gonna do. Just wanted to be a musician. He ended up like living on the fucking beach and like. He started hanging out with people and he cut this demo. He's very talented, obviously.
Right.
But he cut this demo and like then he's walking down the street after, you know, they ship it out of the record label. He's like, whatever, I don't know how that works. He's walking down the street in Hollywood or whatever, and he starts hearing all these cars blasting his song on the radio.
Wow.
Who's that song? He's walking down the street. He's like, oh my god, that's me.
Right.
You know?
Where's my check?
Yo, that's me. Where's my check? Yeah. But no, I think that he probably. Just like as a songwriter and just story wise, I don't know. It's just something about him. Like he's never been the kind of guy who like needed like the limelight. You know, I mean, he always wore a bucket hat and like kept his eyes covered. You could never see his eyes. He didn't want to be recognized
Right.
in public or nothing like that. You know, so he's just a character. Him and Tom Waits, but I digress. Okay, he's another guy.
What about you, Pharaoh?
For me, man, I mean, nowadays I'm a rapper, you know what I'm saying? I'm a rap guy, hip hop and stuff, and that's most of the artists that I deal with now. But like, growing up, I never really liked rap music, so it took me a while. Like, I missed a lot of that crucial, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, you know, like just beginning stages of hip hop and shit like that. But I mean, when I first came in, Joey Badass.
Right.
Fuck with Joey Badass
Fucked
heavy.
with him.
Hobson really influenced me in the beginning when I first started rapping.
The real
And,
bars.
yeah, the real bars. That's what I spit now. Is like I always spit some message shit and like, you know what I'm saying, try to keep my shit all message oriented. And 21 Pilots, I love them, man. They're fucking sick. And shit, that's about it. For real, I mean, like, I listen to other people, but, like, nowadays, man, I've just been listening to local music, the people that I fucking come through here and record and
Oh yeah, that's real shit.
do their thing here. And
Yeah, that almost kind of reminds me of a different thing that's difficult about being an engineer is like all the music that you hear that you work on all the time. When I'm in here like working on my shit for whether it's mixing or tracking, I'm in here for hours like working on a song. I don't want to listen to music You know what I'm saying? I get in my car, I put on like NPR, or I listen to a podcast or something. Like, I don't want to listen to more music. It's kind of like killed my love of listening to music, in a way, you know.
Not me.
That's good. That's good. 21 Pilots is a good influence to have too, because like they've really like done their own thing and pushed the bar. They're a very unique group, you know.
That was my transition into rap, because like before I kind of like, when I was younger, some like heavier stuff, and then like I started going to like some reggae type shit, you know what I'm saying? And then I started going into like, it was kind of like half rap. They're still like singing and shit. And then I started like listening to some rap and shit. Mac Miller, dude, that's one.
Yeah, that was my guy. Yeah.
Mac Miller, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh,
back in the day, shit.
It, man. Yeah, that's some serious shit right there, man. Grew up on it, man.
All right, so I wanted to see, man, if you can give me a quick breakdown of some of the equipment that you use. You don't have to show me everything, but just some of the core stuff that you use, maybe a little board work.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, yeah. Well, microphone-wise over there, and if we're just keeping it here,
We'll get there.
All right, cool. Well, it all comes through, whatever mic we're using, it comes through this guy right here. This guy is the Midas XL48 preamp. It's a solid state amp. It's a digital amp, but it rocks. We love this thing. 8 channels. So I mean, you can do all your drums through there, and then vocals too. It's got just high pass, low pass filter on it. A pad and a polarity switch and shit. But yeah, that thing's pretty much good to go. That goes into our interface right here. We got the Focusrite Scarlett, and this does some work too.
Okay.
It's 8 at that connection, so we actually blocked out 6 of these inputs on here belong to this guy, and these first 2 belong to this. So in the program, like inputs 1 and 2 are through this, and inputs 13 through 18 are this guy right here. We got some other tools here too. We got this guy. This is actually like a pretty rare piece. It's this Furman EQ. I use it every now and then. We got the patch base set up so I can, put a guitar through this. We got this little processor here too. I can put a guitar through that. But this thing, like Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, he used to push one of those before his amp. So it's just like a really cool EQ. It's a little bit dingy though because it's old, but
a little tube-ish.
Yeah, it's got a warmth to it.
Okay.
It's a cool piece. It's unique.
Should I open up the program?
Yeah, go for it. We just got the Mac Pro, the new Mac Pro tower, little trash can looking one.
Okay.
Let
me see that, because I was asking him, man. I had an airdrop a beat and I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the windows in here. I didn't know.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Yeah, pull it up. I heard that other track, man. That was nice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Appreciate that.
We got Yamaha HS5, little 5 inches. Got some JBL 8 inches on the side for some reference, and we got the Yamaha sub that matches the speakers up there.
Okay, I see it down there.
Yeah, we got that guy. Introducing the sub really changed the game. It was a long time that we didn't have a subwoofer, so having the sub is like, it's crucial. You just get you get a much more honest playback. You can hear everything. We got this guy here too, the Apollo Twin. This is actually a pretty important piece because this hosts all of its own plugins, all the universal audio plugins.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. I think they wanted like 800 or something like that, Sam Ash. I don't know if it's the same one. It was some Apollo something, though.
No, I think it's 800.
Interface.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like all these badass plugins like that EQ I was talking about earlier, too. Like all those that are recreations of classic pieces on there. This thing actually handles the processing power.
Okay.
So you can run a bunch of those. You can't use too many. I mean, it'll slow down, obviously.
So it just helped like the crashing and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so the computer's not even using its power, except for a little bit when you use any of those. It's going here, which is nice.
We got some Waves plugins. We just purchased the gold pack.
Yeah, there's plenty there.
Yeah. All different types of shit in there.
We use that Waves H delay a lot for.
Oh, dude, that is
for any delay. Yeah, that's kind of our go-to plug for delays.
This track somewhere.
Yeah, see, pull up any track. It's bound to be on that.
That H delay.
Yeah, I know a lot of beginners though. They have trouble with that one.
Yeah.
Like controlling it.
I mean, like it does have like you could like get in between 1/4. You know what I'm saying? Like it has like levels to it, type of shit. But like it really does click into the standard 1/4, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. And
Yeah,
then,
you gotta know what you gotta know what you're doing, what you're looking at.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're looking for. Yeah, because it's not always the right kind of delay to use. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'll just use the standard delay that comes with Logic Pro X. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You got to make sure that you get your stuff on the grid too, from a beginner perspective. Like when you're doing a song, especially if it's hip hop and you're gonna be using effects like delay and shit, you got to make sure you get the tempo mapped out for your beat in the session, so it's all on the grid. Because if you do that, this thing will automatically know what the BPM is, right? So it'll automatically just be correct.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna have to tell it anything. It'll just work by itself as long as you take that first step.
And you gotta also, for beginner engineers, cut out that dead space in the beginning of the beat, you know what I'm saying? And then bring it back when you're finding the BPM to make sure that everything's lining up right and correctly and shit.
Okay, so like, what's like the secret when it comes down to like finding the key of a song or of somebody's vocals type?
Pull out a piano roll, man. Get that app on your phone. It tells you all the notes, and you play down every note. You know what I'm saying? And you'll hear the note that matches. It just sounds right. You know what I'm saying? You'll hear it.
Yeah, you get an ear for that after a while. You can figure it out.
A couple of them might sound right. A couple of them might sound good. You know what I'm saying? And then you can try out a couple different ones. See which ones you're liking the most and stuff.
You mentioned compression earlier too. I'm just gonna pull this up on this real quick. I've been using this guy a lot. It's this 1176 copy. This guy goes hard. Any sort of 1176 copy is usually a good bet because this is one of the best compressors ever made.
Yeah, and what's the other one? This is 11. This is like 74 or something like that.
I don't know about the 74. I'm sure that there is one of them out there. You know, there's a bunch of them. The LA2A. This one was another one. So those are some nice tools to have. Anything that tries to recreate that, you know, if you don't have the real thing.
Yeah, that 7.6 is a little aggressive. I like it.
Yeah, it is. It is. You can
like that.
you can crank that one, get some good tones out of it.
Okay.
I guess like a little piece of knowledge as far as the gear goes, code and Signal Flow Studio. I'm just gonna come out and say it. We do not use this board.
Fuck it.
We
that thing.
we don't use this. The interface is plugged into it, so we can monitor with it. We got our volume on it. That's literally it. The only reason we have this is just the volume knob.
We used to use it, but it started giving us problems and shit, and it's really not worth fixing it because we could just run it through all that over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like a badass board anyway. You know, it's not a critically acclaimed piece of equipment. It's just a big ass mixing board.
It looks cool.
For sure. It looks nice as fuck.
Yes, that's a secret. That's a secret right there. That I feel like some people might not know about Signal Flow Studio.
And the tiger. Whose idea was the tiger since it's in the background so nice right now?
That's me, baby. That's me. It was shouts out to Carly Krogel, Kevin Begin's ex-girlfriend. She had it lying around in my old studio space. I call my old studio the woods, and it was in this like just this one room. And I had this guy right above the computer, and I had all this like fake vegetation and fake trees. I had a water fountain in there at one point too, but then I had to unplug because it was just a hassle. I've always loved this though. I've loved the Tiger.
Hell yeah, that shit nice.
Yeah. Here, pretty budget-friendly microphone. This thing is not very expensive, but it handles the highs very smoothly. Sometimes a little bit too harsh, depending on your artist, but this has a very, very clear image of it. I love this mic. It's great for drums too, when you're doing like a Glenn Johns technique and you want to get the ride over here, like a perspective type of mic. This thing crushes that. Good for a room mic too. This here, hands up. Sure, SM7B, classic for radio production. Joe Rogan uses this microphone. Michael Jackson used this microphone on Thriller. This thing right here is just classic. You've definitely seen it a million times before. And this is how you use it. Hello, check 1 2, check 1 2. That's how it goes.
Hey man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. We got some other tools here. This is Sennheiser MD421. That guy's good for floor toms, guitar cabs. You can use it on a bass cab if you want, but I don't like mic and bass. I like going DI with bass. It's just easier to do. And it usually sounds better, but that's a nice piece to have. We got a couple more over there, but I also wanted to bring down the whole kit and caboodle. This is, your Shure kit. You got your SM57s. What kind of studio would we be if we didn't have SM57s?
Right.
This is the most classic microphone of all time.
Yeah,
$100. Get yourself one of these if you want to record. Not really vocals, but if you're gonna do anything else, get yourself at least one of these. You gotta have these bad boys. And this kit right here came with your Beta 52. It's just a kick-ass kick drum mic. That's just all it's for. We got the AKG one over there too, but I prefer this one.
Yeah, I like the AKGs.
Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice, no doubt.
So do you have like a preference for, okay, I'm gonna use this mic for hip hop, or I'm gonna use this one for a band, or you know what I'm saying? Do you have an all in all?
Man, I love using the blue, man. Now I used to use the Shure, but after I switched over to the blue, started using it out for trying it out for all my artists. You know what I'm saying? I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How he was saying how sometimes it comes out a little too harsh. That could always be dealt with in EQ. You could go pinpoint that frequency, pull it down, bring it out a little bit.
Certainly.
And it ain't nothing.
Yeah, I agree,
sure,
man.
for
This
sure.
thing does a lot of work for us. It's only sometimes where, like, if I hear somebody has a very, very deep voice, like if I'm talking to somebody who's about to record, have a really deep voice, then I'll go with that Shure, because that thing is good at capturing lows, and things sound smooth low-wise on that one. This one has more of that, like, presence to it.
It
But-
seems like a little old school versus new school type of deal here.
Well, between the two mics, you mean? Yeah. Certainly. It really is. But we are looking into getting a microphone like this, spend a little more, getting something a little nicer, because if we dig this one so much, once we get our hands on something that's not so budget friendly,
Yeah.
like a real expensive, like a Neumann,
nice.
the 87 would be sick.
See, the Newmans are nice, but I record on a couple Newmans, and I like my voice better in the Bluebird.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
I'm
that
gonna
just goes
try
to
the
say.
Neumann for my next project.
Yeah, we got one that we can't use.
Singers and certain stuff like that, the Newman is like great, harmonizing stuff like that. But like real rap vocals stuff like that, though, the Bluebird is kind of like better for me.
Yeah, this one rips.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely
I haven't
recommend it.
tried that mic out yet, so I'm gonna try it.
I honestly haven't either. We got some other ones. They're actually pretty cool looking. I'll grab. Oh, my bad.
Bluebird back.
These bad boys right here. I didn't do that. These ones are good for drum overheads. Iron Bison, who was just Band of the Week in Scene Magazine. This is the Shure Beta 181.
Lift it up a little bit for me.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. Pretty classy looking joint, But these guys are pretty good for drum overheads. They're all right. I don't usually track drum overheads like that, but Iron Bison, the guitar tone that we got on that project, I have both of these over top of the amp, like pretty high up and pretty far back. So, I close mic'd the amp too, and then I brought the close mic up a little bit. Once I got these guys cranking, they sounded awesome as guitar overheads. So you kind of could hear how the amp was filling the room with
Right.
his parts because of these guys. And then, just for added volume, I added the close mics, the 57 and the 421.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, I like these ones a lot.
Got like about 3 or 4 more questions, and then we can go check out the laboratory.
Excellent. And I'll leave Sean to do that because I got to split, and also he books the shows there and stuff.
All right,
so
for sure.
he's the man to talk to about that. Where'd he go anyway?
I'm back.
Oh, you're right there.
All right. Oh yeah, I gotta get back in the chairs for me because I can't.
Oh yeah.
The
Okay.
thing too short.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Okay. So, what do you think is artists' biggest mistakes when they come to record? Besides the whole,
Rehearsing thing.
rehearsing thing. Like, as far as what do they do with their songs? As far as like, do they releasing their songs on time? It could be, not coming back for the master, like stuff like that.
It's a great
For
question.
me, I think it's artists who rush it. You know what I'm
I was
saying?
gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, they come in and they do one session, they get the song done in an hour, they might get 2 songs done in 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? And they take those songs home, they're so excited they just drop it right away, and then later on they might have regrets, like, oh, I could have fixed this little thing, could have fixed that, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, if you take 2 sessions to come and work on a song or something, or really just make sure that you're completely satisfied with the song before you drop it, because it ain't nothing but a thing to come in and fix something if it's going to take 2 minutes or something. Or,
yeah, we don't charge extra for that. If you want to hit us up, we'll just come in and make an adjustment, send it back to you.
For sure, for sure.
Stuff like
yeah,
that.
Definitely. When
even just taking a second look at a song, making a couple of extra mixing tweaks, like that shit could make a difference. You know
it goes a long way. Yeah, when people come in and they want to do like 3 songs in 3 hours, it's like, I very rarely does somebody like ask me for my input about it, but sometimes artists will say, okay, what do you recommend for a song? And I said, well, I'm really glad you asked. I would say let's spend 4 hours on this song, and then let's revisit it even then, you know, and go back and listen to it on a bunch of different speakers and stuff too.
For my hip-hop artists, we usually average about an hour a song, you know what I'm saying? Chris usually works with some bigger projects and stuff like that, so it takes some more tedious, you know what I'm saying, work. But for my hip-hop artists, it usually takes about an hour a track, and sometimes maybe a little longer if I'm getting jiggy with the mixing or something.
Yeah,
you know what
he
I'm
does
saying?
get jiggy with the mixing.
Right.
Yeah.
But for sure, definitely spend your time on your tracks and make sure that shit's right. I'm trying to think of any more.
Yeah, that's not even like spend more time so we make more cash. That's not even a plug, because we're artists too, you know. So we just
we understand how
we
how
understand,
it
yeah.
goes, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It takes time to get the
A
product.
good business relationship is gonna just benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't all about the money. You know what I'm saying? We're here to help you and make your music and your vision come to life. You know what I'm saying? I love being an engineer because I could help develop that vision for people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the middleman between them and their music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that shit's crucial.
So, as an engineer, are you more of a critic, or are you more like laid back when it comes down to, you know, like when somebody's recording, or do you let the artist just do what they do?
That totally depends on who it is, and that's a big part of like getting good at this. I think the biggest, you can learn how to use EQ compression on YouTube. You can go to YouTube University and learn how to do all this. You know what I mean? But I think the one thing that like you actually do learn, like as you do this, is like figuring out who needs a push, who needs some advice and some input, and who just wants you to shut the fuck up and hit record.
Right.
Because some people really do just like, all right, give me again, like, and like they know what they're doing. And when you come across somebody like that, you just have to, all right, I got you, you know.
Right.
You gotta know when to get bossed around and when to boss around. But I mean, as an engineer, you never really boss around. I'm just,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Give people inputs and shit.
Yeah. I would say that overall, I'm more of a critic of it, just because like time is very valuable, you know, and I want people to be happy with what they get. So I always try to keep an ear out, even if I just met the person, just like, hey, maybe say this line a little bit differently here. Like, just trust me, I can hear it in here. I know how this is gonna come out, you know. Just give it a shot like this. And a big thing about it too is if you try new stuff, you can always just delete it. So it's better to have too much than too little.
For sure.
For sure.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming through, man. Breakfast with Dab. You
Breakfast
know,
with Dab,
love
man.
the studio.
Appreciate you
We're gonna
doing
go
the
ahead and check. We're gonna go ahead and check out the party room and, you know, have Pharaoh give us a little tour and see what's going on back there. You know, and you know, let it come back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
Yo, what's up? We here at the warehouse. I'll show you guys my dude Mark's studio and shit. I got a hand doing booking in here and stuff, booking shows. So if you want to book a show in this venue, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. We got the stage over here, bar, pool table. We got a little chill area over here. This place called the Warehouse again, in case you don't know. Little underground venue. This is Mark himself, the man who owns the joint. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, man? For sure.
This is Nerve Records up in this. This is the warehouse. This is where we throw all that good stuff, man. Last show, last weekend, 250 people.
Yeah,
Rage up there.
We threw a dope ass show last weekend for a supporter's birthday. Shannon, she's a dope, one of my close friends. You know what I'm saying? She's comes out to all the shows. We threw her a dope birthday party here. Helly people came out. It was fucking sick.
For sure that.
Yeah. This is a little chill area over there. Peep that. And then this is Mark's private studio and view and shit. Maybe recording Bittersweet Revenge and stuff and
Bittersweet Revenge, Rochambeau.
Rochambeau, yeah. Getting it done out here, man.
Making moves.
Show that. You said this is a private studio just for like personal sessions or like.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't really bring clients in here. Not yet, at least. I don't.
Could you talk to me about one piece of equipment though? This thing right here.
That?
Yes.
That's my baby, man. That's analog tape machine. 1987 Fostex E16. Half-inch tape.
16 channel, reel to reel.
It's
It's a beautiful piece.
it's a relic. When I die, that gets left to one lucky person,
Right.
or my group of friends as a whole.
To show that.
Yeah, I do analog tape in here. I do digital. Mostly live bands and stuff like that. You know, that's about it.
Yeah, my electronics teacher told me that's like the best way right there.
Analog.
Analog.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like movies, man. Old tape movies, ever shot on film. Those are great.
So.
That's how, you know, it's the old school way. It's a, you know, you get high quality from both of them, but you know the convenience factor of digital helps out with the reel to reel. So what we do is we'll record to the tape and then we'll dump it down.
Getting hot as fuck. Welcome to breakfast.